Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Glad you're with me. Kevin Jackson. Here's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com if you want to give us a call, 844-551-8255. So lots to talk about. Theme today is going to be leadership. When I went to military school, I remember this kid, his name was Carol. He was older than I was. I say kid. And they asked the definition of leadership. And we were all these, fresh-faced cadets like, I don't know. And the guy said, the ability to gain willful cooperation. And I've never forgotten that. So he said that was the definition of leadership. He was immediately promoted. Immediately. We were all like dumb kids, but they made him, I believe, a sergeant. And I was like, wow, I better go study up on leadership. And I was a good kid, grew up okay, learned hard work ethic, being on a ranch, 25,000 acre cattle ranch. And so I knew what I wanted to follow, but I also knew how to be a leader. And this is what I say, good leaders are great followers. They are, but they will take over if you aren't going to lead. Same thing I said. At the end, 2008, I knew we were toast. That's what got me into politics. For those of you who are just new to the program and don't know who I am, Kevin Jackson, I said in 2008, either Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama is going to be president. That was the scariest thought in the world to me. In retrospect, McCain being president was just as bad. But, I knew that there were no good candidates, and I didn't want Hillary or Barack Obama. And I fought against it, and I predicted. I was in a coffee shop in St. Louis, Debbie's Coffee Shop, and I predicted to a Hillary Clinton supporter, I said to him, Hillary Clinton's not going to get your nomination. It's going to be Barack Obama, and worse than that, he's going to win. And the guy, he looked at me and he says, I think you're right. This guy was a diehard Hillary supporter. And he says, I think you're right. And he actually started crying. I'll never forget it. He wrote a segue. Typical lefty. Nice guy. We used to come in and read books. His wife and I used to speak French together. She was a French speaker, gave me a book, I don't know, about devils or something in French. But long story short, that's what he said. I said that to him. He looked at me and he got into the Goldwater stuff and he actually started crying. I was like, oh, didn't think it was that serious of a conversation. But that's what got me thinking about politics, was the realization that our country had gone so far down the road that we would elect of Clinton, Hillary Clinton, one of the most unqualified people to even think about being president, and of course Barack Obama, the most unqualified person to be president. And I was like, how far do we get? Get in the game, Kev. Get in the game. So I did. But that's what drove me to that decision, is I said, these people are not leaders. Then in 2012, so 2008, I jump into the foray, 2009, and write a book. It does okay. Glenn Beck discovers me and Fox News, blah, blah, blah. So we move forward. And I'm just, I'm like like we have this joke we play where the guy says I was a young singer and Barry Gordy going to make me a lot of money on my records, right? So I just fell into it. And I'm trying to work with the Republicans. People are tugging on me in different directions. The more notoriety I got, the more, Kevin, can you come speak over here for free and do this for free and all that? And I dang near went broke doing all that. And I got to the end of 2012, and I said to myself, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure Barack Obama doesn't get reelected. Worked my dangdest. Tried to get anybody to listen to me and to explain why this man shouldn't be reelected, etc. And I'm glad, again, Romney didn't make it, but he was a better choice than Barack Obama. But God in his infinite wisdom said, you need another 4 years of Obama, America, and here's why. So God overruled my plan, your plan, a lot of other people's plans, and we got Barack Obama again. But what was funny, because so many people were devastated by that loss. I know you remember this. It was devastating. It was a gut punch that we couldn't get Romney elected. And it wasn't that it was Romney. It was we needed to get rid of Barack Obama. We worked against the forces of good. God was going, oh, well, let me tell you, you're not quite there yet. But it was a gut punch. And I said on that day, I remember waking up the next day, it was like a tornado. Not the part of the tornado that's the storm, that very calm before the storm. There was a calm over me because I knew the storm was brewing. And I said to myself in that moment, I will never follow another person in this movement. It wasn't egotistically driven. It was, I watched what we did and I said, this is not the way we're going to win. It's not going to happen this way. And as a management consultant, the person who looks at what drives loss, what drives, bad performance in companies, I looked at this movement and said, this isn't going to work. And by the way, if you don't believe me, go out and join teapartycommunity.org, because I'm going to tell you something else. If we don't do something to stave off the Facebooks and the Googles and these people that are just taking control of social media and this internet, we are going to be in big trouble. You better help me here, folks. We have 3 years to get this done. Technically, we have 7, but I'm saying in 3 years, if we do what I think we should be doing, we're going to be poised to go out there and do some good. So long story short, I said I'm not following anymore. Now, I'm a leader, but I was content to follow in 2008, 2009. And I said, hey, Republicans, let's roll up our sleeves and let's go get something done. And I remember the Missouri Republican Party reaching out to me saying, hey, Kevin, we love it, the things that you do, man. You're pretty amazing. Let's get you working on some advertise some marketing for the Republican Party. And the very first thing we did, they rejected. They started rejecting here, Kevin. They didn't give me a dime. I spent $1,500 developing stuff for them. They didn't give me a dime, said our stuff was too aggressive, and passed on it. And at that point, I was like, screw you guys. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to reach black folks. You don't know how to stir up things to get conversations going. And so, screw you. And in 2012, the day that Barack Obama got elected, the second time, the day after, when I got up that morning, it was almost like God whispered to me and said, you will follow nobody else. And I didn't. And I haven't since. And look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We could use some really good folks that understand how, operations and things like that, and efficiency and things like that. We're creators, but this will be our year to do that stuff. We'll get the right people together, but we aren't following. Trump comes along, and you know what he does? He says, to hell with convention. He says, I'm not following these guys either. It was like a dude after my own heart. He's going, I don't care what they say. I don't care don't tweet. I'll tweet what I want to tweet. You can't say this. I'll say what I want to say. You're never going to win if you do that. Yeah, watch me. See, that's leadership. The quality of a leader. The ability to translate vision into reality. That's what Donald Trump did. And I'm going to go, when we come back, we're going to talk more about this.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.